Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Former Bachelorette Becca Kufrin, one of my favorites of all time, stars in this video. She's being slammed by fans for her promotion of Shein, which is a Chinese-based fast fashion designer. And I say designer lightly because apparently they steal most of their designs from independent designers, fashion designers that is, and they produce very, very cheap clothing, and a lot of people have exposed how Shein violates modern slavery agreements that have existed in the UK, whereas essentially the UK has a law where they say, if you're going to operate these sweatshops, which is what they are, we need to see the paperwork. We need to know what your conditions are like to put a stamp of approval on that. I don't think we have the same standard here when it comes to our imports. For too long, we've just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to go online and order this product, and we don't wonder where it comes from. And we say, well, we have human rights laws here in our country, but that doesn't stop us from just importing from places that it's so problematic. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I don't blame Becca for knowing what the issues are, and I'm not going to shame her in great, grandiose fashion for taking the money. But chances are she probably made, judging by her following size of 1 million plus, anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 for this post, maybe more. There's a lot of money on the line here, and we know the people that work in these sweatshops, they call them that because they're working, shoulder to shoulder, making clothes in a literal sweatshop. We know their conditions are beyond humane for where we should be in today's society. But Dave, don't you have an iPhone? Yes, I do. And we talk about these issues because it's more complicated than saying, well, if you've ever shopped at Amazon, then you can't complain. No. We're going to discuss this and continue to break it down in a way where we don't shame Becca, but we, shine some light onto where we put our money, our dollars, and where we receive our money from. Now, she's got a long following ahead of her with her social media. She's not going anywhere. She's at 1+ million. She comes from like the heyday of Instagram and Bachelor when people were getting their biggest followings. And she doesn't necessarily need the quick cash that a company like Shein would provide. As we know, she's probably making in the low six figures for her Bachelor podcast, plus whatever other endorsements they are. So not a good look. Now, there are other bad companies, like we've said, but Shein is considered one of the worst. So we'll get into all that. Do me a favor, follow me if you haven't already and want to see what I have going on Patreon. It's a private membership-only community. I just made this video today. You can see I got the same outfit on, welcoming all of our new Patreon members. For as little as $5 a month, you can join that community. Now, this video was brought to my attention yesterday in the free Dave Neal's community page on Facebook. Sharonda said, since there was a story calling out Maddie Pruitt, can we assume a video will be coming to call out a bigger fish? Becca is a much bigger deal in Bachelor Nation and posted this about 4 hours ago. And my response to that was, and I love when people submit these. It's so great. I love this community. If anyone wants to be a part of these discussions that we have on here, absolutely. I said, I'll say this, it's on my radar. The point of calling out Madison is her hypocrisy in supporting anti-trafficking organizations and then taking money from Shein. So with Maddie Pruitt, it's more like profiting off of both sides. It's like she's profiting off of selling books about talking about her faith in moral fiber and then not doing something that would be in good faith and in good moral fiber. It doesn't make her being a Christian bad. It makes her not following through, or at least being aware of where of the causes she's supporting. It's a mia mari. Why am I doing this? It looks like I'm ready to make some pasta rigatone. Okay. Appropriating Italians. I'm on a diet, so this is me just getting triggered by wanting linguine. All right. Rachel said they're all partnering with them these days. It'd be a full-time job just covering that. Apply the same information, but sub in Becca and don't use her code. So the deal is that, Hannah Godwin, there's plenty of others that are promoting Shein. I'm going to talk about Tayshia in a minute. I had a good conversation with my fiance last night regarding Tayshia and what she's doing with her Instagram that would be different than what Becca's doing. And I know people criticize me, oh, you hate Tayshia, you're going to like what I have to say. So stick around for that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But of course, the video I made about Maddie, we just talk about the cash grab. Not to mention, where's my Harry Potter wand? I didn't call out Maddie. This TikToker did. And you might say, Dave, you're hiding behind someone else calling her out, so you're inadvertently calling out Maddie. I totally believe that Maddie lives in an insulated bubble and has no idea about fast fashion. That's what I believe. I believe it's easy to be like, oh, yeah. We all have iPhones. We all buy stuff from abroad. We have this and that. Okay, all right, I'll take that. Now, the fact that she had been called out by many people and didn't sort of address it, hey, look, if you don't want to follow her, unfollow her. Hit her where it hurts which is within the following. Now, what Becca did is a little different. And by the way, Maddie does have a bigger following than Becca. I understand people are saying her following's not necessarily all in Bachelor Nation here. But, she's out there giving speeches, doing all the thing. And, it's like, hey, lots of money's on the line out here in these circuits. I might as well call people, for profiting when they really don't need the extra money. And we know Becca doesn't. So here's Becca talking about Shein as the product. And, of course, this did not sit well with people.
Thomas and I are here in Mexico on vacation. And thankfully, I had Shein to help prep me for the trip with their new incredible spring collection. They have so many wonderful pieces, whether that's for date night, girls night, just for fun, or your vacation. They have it all for you.
Use my code 15Becca Sweatshop to receive 10% off.
I'm going to do a little try-on haul here in the next slide. But in the meantime, if you want to shop Shein and their spring collection, use my link and code 15Becca for 15% off.
Now, by the way, the haul we're about to watch is so well made. I love this. Check this out. She does these little twists where she just twists into each outfit. It's like kind of like a gamer mode. I actually love this. But of course, what you see and what you get is completely, it's really the luck of the draw when it comes to Shein. Smoke and mirrors. Shein describes itself as an international business-to-consumer fast fashion e-commerce platform that focuses on women's wear but also offers men's apparel, children's clothes, accessories, shoes, bags, and other fashion items. I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but I actually briefly worked in advertising, and my client was McDonald's, which they call quick serve restaurants, QSR. A Wendy's, a McDonald's, Arby's, those are quick serve restaurants. They don't like to call them what they actually are, which is fast food, because it's derogatory and doesn't sound appealing. Fast fashion is the fashion equivalent of fast food, which is shit, okay? I love to go through McDonald's drive-thru every once in a while, but have you ever seen those videos where the burger just doesn't deteriorate? They just leave it out. It's chock full of preservatives and harmful chemicals. And listen, all McDonald's franchises care about is maximizing their profit and selling people whatever product they can at the least amount it's going to cost them, for that product, which of course in today's world of profiteering that we have, it leaves the audience thinking we're eating something and thinking we're wearing something, and it actually costs more in the long term. There's been studies done about how poor people are left to stay poor because a rich person or a wealthy person can buy maybe like a $200 pair of boots that will last them because they're quality made. Whereas a poor person might only be able to buy the $30 pair of boots that look like the $200 pair, but they have to replace them more times than the $200 pair, effectively costing them more money. Does this make sense? And it's the same thing with quality products, and it's the same thing with the food we put into our body. It really exists across the board. We're living in a time where we have to be more aware of what we're putting into our body and on our body, and understanding where those products come from, because all countries don't operate under the same shared shared sort of ideals of how we treat our employees and our minimum wages. And look, our country's got a problem too. Our national minimum wage has barely risen since like the 70s. You have to live in poverty to work at Walmart. You can barely make enough money. Half the employees are on food stamps, which is, a social welfare program, because the government has to pay employees because they're making so little money, whereas the Waltons are billionaires. I've already talked about all this. The same applies for Amazon, employees pissing into bottles because they don't have enough time to take a bathroom break, because they have these biometric watches that they wear that tell them their productivity. We're not robots. We're humans, okay? We need to be treated as such. But, technology and bosses and the billionaire owners they've reaped so much profit from all of us, and they've squeezed us dry, that I understand that consumers get excited when they want to buy a Shein product because it's so cheap and affordable, but it's wrong on so many different levels, not to mention the environment, fast fashion, what it does to local rivers and communities, polluting these factories, not to mention, like I said, the fact that designers get ripped off. They just steal designs, and there's no sort of crediting that happens. It's just a complete mess. So this person says, overall, Shein, previously called Sheinside, is a complete mystery. No phone number, no email, no press contact to be found online. Even the name of its founder remains a total enigma. This seemingly opaque company relies mostly on digital marketing and bloggers to get you hooked on their products rather than divulging anything about their supply chain transparency. So it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And then Becca, she posted her thing about it. We didn't get any other statements once, this went viral starting last night. Went viral that, she was kind of getting just slammed for this. And the comments are wild. So unlike Maddie, she posts an Instagram post. Now, I don't know what her negotiation is like, but you get paid based on a story or a post. Post you get paid a lot more for because it's like a home versus a story that disappears in 24 hours. So Maddie was able to Maddie was able to make an Instagram story, which you can't comment on, whereas Becca posts this and, kind of credit to her for leaving up all the comments. No, this is the worst collab with awful human rights and environmental violations. Don't do it. Ugh, please don't support them. Shein is a company that significantly contributes to fast fashion waste, mistreats their employees, and completely underpays them. Don't support them. Just no. Fast fashion sucks. Please reconsider. Immediately no. Please find other brands to collaborate with. All the Bachelor Nation girlies be promoting Shein. I know the brand partner money is good, but sis, but it ain't worth it. Oh no. Oh honey, no. And I'm sure Becca's reading this and has to worry about future. It might not make her comment on it or delete this, but you would think, she bought a home. She's clearly, when you have 1 million followers in Bachelor Nation, you can assume you're making $1 million, $1 per follower, kind of what Jason Tartica said. If you're playing the game right, maybe she's making a little bit less. It's hard to know. I talked to my fiance about this. She works in fashion as a fit model. She knows how fits work. She works for high-end companies, and she's works for other companies like Revolve, and I know not all these companies source all their materials ethically and come from all different locations. Supply chain, it's like some from Bangladesh, some, it's not the old days where like, all right, we buy our New Balance shoes, they're made in a factory in Maine. No, the shoelace is made in Norway, the tongue is made over there. It's all over the place, and it's hard to regulate when that happens. But when I was talking to my fiance, Tasha, she was saying, look, it makes sense that someone like Becca, and no offense to Becca, would wear things like this. It's not stylish and fashionable to wear these kind of cheaply made products. It looks good. It's one of those like good for the photo, but it's not going to last you long, and it's not going to be well done. Now, someone who's doing it right is Tayshia. We go to Tayshia right here. Tayshia's in London for a photo shoot. Maybe she's there for some other reasons. And she's got this beautiful, look, I'm not a fashion expert here. I don't know. What would you call this? This is a skirt, blazer option, houndstooth. I don't know what this is. But she doesn't post a code, buy my thing. No. This is like a flat promotion, right? She's being paid probably a decent amount of money to put on this outfit and take a high-class photo. A photo that you might see in a magazine, in a spreadsheet, in a tear sheet, maybe in a spreadsheet, who knows? Anyway, so you click on Alice and Olivia, and what you actually get here is an actual designer, someone who's got a very large company who designs things that's actually, I'm not saying I know nothing about Alice and Olivia, but I do know if they had unethical practices, you could kind of hit them because there's a home base. There's a line here that you can kind of talk to that doesn't exist with Shein, which is just some faceless, gigantic company that has overtaken Amazon for apparel sales. So credit where it's due to someone like Tayshia for understanding. And I talked to my fiance, Tasha, about this. She says, hey, look, Tayshia understands fashion. She understands, designers would want to dress Tayshia where they might not care to dress Becca or Maddie or Hannah Godwin. Tayshia has it. She has the factor that pops. And that, is something that designers look at and they know, oh, here's another Alice and Olivia. So maybe her whole trip in, this is from 4 weeks ago. Either way, credit where it's due to Tayshia. I mean, I think we had, let's go to like Tayshia in Vogue. Tayshia in Vogue. I mean, like she is one of the most fashionable, people that have come out of Bachelor Nation. And again, you could just do a quick Google search and, not everything's going to be a hit. But as far as like what what designers want to see when it comes to high end, state of the art, trending, fashion moving forward. Tayshia's got it. I don't. Okay, I'm wearing a denim black jacket with gym shorts on, so I don't have it. But the point is to look at people like Becca and say, look, come on, Becca. We're not asking you to break down your yearly profits, but clearly you don't need this extra money. Madison just had a best-selling book. Clearly she doesn't need this extra money. Now, what would be nice is if we existed somewhere in between the call-out culture. Like there's so much call-out culture that happens that I understand why people like Madison and people like Becca aren't even gonna mention the products they did brand deals for. But it's important that they at least hear the message. The message being that audiences are understanding how much blatant crime is existing right in front of us with regards to the supply chains, the environmental issues of fast fashion, and all these things, and saying, look, just do a little better. That's all we're saying. All right, folks, let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm not going to keep talking about fast fashion. It's just not it's not something I know too much about, but there's plenty of resources out there, especially if you look at Hope Scope, huge following, makes a video, The Dark Truth about Shein. These you can go read more from other people that have tried the clothes on and can speak to it.
Stuff. In my last video, some people were upset about that I said that I hated Shein and then turned around and complimented some of the stuff. I'm just saying, me liking the designs doesn't mean that I like them as a brand. This premium stuff interests me because
and just like you can say we don't like the fact that Becca or Madison are sort of profiting off of these companies, but it doesn't mean we don't like them. It means they're probably ignorant to what's actually going on abroad. Wouldn't it be nice if we could actually get some video into some of these factories and we could see the look on people's eyes and say, look, do we really want to live like this? And the comments people have made, well, if that's their only job opportunity, then that's the best we can do. And it's like, well, that's not the status we want to elevate the world to in 2022, where, well, sweatshops be sweatshops. No, that's not where we're at. We'll talk about it. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys out there.